StockPhotoGuru.com featuring Steve Harmon.
All right, guys. Hey, this is Steve Harmon again here with StockPhotoGuru.com, and we are now on to video 5B, which is our post-production workflow or post-shoot workflow after we've actually captured our images. And especially after your first assignment here, if you haven't done any of this, this might be the first time you do this. My workflow, like I said before, is not perfect. It's the way I do it, and it's the way I want you to do it. So if you find a better way, great, but you need to at least cover the bases. And one of those things that we need to cover here is the intention, again, of backing up your images is to make sure that you always have access to them, and they're easy to find, and they're securely safe, and so you don't lose any images. So I'm going to give you a little bit of workflow about how I do it. So we're going to run through this. To back up, the first thing I do after I'm done shooting an event or stock photos or whatever the case it may be is I will use a card reader, and on my Mac I use image capture. Now I know a lot of friends out there who just go directly into the card as they see it on their computer pop up. On a Windows machine, you're going to go to My Computer and find that card, and you can just grab and drag and drop the images over. There's usually, like on a Canon camera, there's like a DCIM folder and MISC, miscellaneous. Usually all the images that are just important of what you want is in the DCIM folder. You can just grab the images. I like using image capture. You can also just use the USB cable that is included with your camera and plug it directly into your camera, turn your camera on, and grab the images that way from your camera. And the computer's going to see it pretty similar. It's still going to see it as your Canon camera or your Nikon camera, whatever it is, and you can grab the images that way. Now, I back everything up manually that way, and I put them into a folder. The folder that I put them into after I am backing them up is I title it by year, month, and day, and then a little description of what it is. That's what I call the folder. That way, when you browse your images and you sort it by file name, everything's going to be in order, and you'll be able to see it really quickly. So, for example, 2012 month would be 04, and the day would be 04, for example. I think that's today's date. And then you can put a little shoot description. You can say stock and then say what it may be. So that way you can look through all your images, know your dates. If you've got a calendar, whether it's a paper calendar or whether it's like a Google calendar or something like that, you can always go back and look and be like, oh, that was the date that I kind of did that. Then you can go and look, and it's really easy to sync up your images by the date. Now, I'd keep them in that folder that way at all times. Now, whatever comes into your camera, sometimes those raw files or whatever they're called, your camera calls them something funny, IMG underscore, a number, whatever. So the next thing that's really important to do that I find, it's not essential, but I feel it's really important, is I batch rename my images. That has a little bit of information about it. And again, everything will also be in order once you batch rename them. Now, there's a few things you can do to batch rename them. And what we do for the batch rename is I use the year, month, day, and a little description as well for each image. And then there'll be like an underscore and usually a 3-digit number, or you can make it 4 digits. And usually you have to use an external program to do that. I use iView Media Pro. That's a program you can buy. It costs money. There is other free software that'll batch rename images for you, or a file batch rename. Just look on the internet for those. Maybe there's some free ones out there. There's the Earfinview. Am I saying that right? Stuart, help me out here. Yell it out. What is it? Earfinview. I think it's a free one for Windows. Is that right? Okay, great. So that's a free software for Windows that you can use that'll help you batch rename your images. And that means, again, under your folder structure, your folders by the date, your images will be by the date. And they'll also have a little bit of, so if you shot, let's just say, some strawberries, or you went on a landscape shoot, it could be 2012 underscore 04 underscore 04 underscore landscape underscore, and then on the batch rename, it'll give you an option. You can go look on how to do that. I can't tell you because it depends on the software you use, but I do batch rename because it's really easy to find your images, and they'll all be in order again. So I do all that manually. So that should be all done to your images. Your images will then be categorized properly, really easy to find wherever you put them. And if you need to do a search for it, the description does help a little bit on there. And if it's stock, make sure that folder always has the word stock in it, so you can find it for that. After I've done that, I definitely want to make another backup that is not just on my hard drive. I want to make a DVD, a Blu-ray, or a CD backup of what I've done. So, Blu-ray is nice because you can put a lot of images on a disc. However, you can also use dual-layer DVDs or single-layer DVDs or whatever you have access to, but make sure you back it up. And again, just use the same structure. Put the date, month, day, a little bit of a description on that, and mark it as that. Usually I keep old spindles around from DVDs that I buy, and I just kind of stack them up, and that way I can keep them. I don't got to buy paper sleeves or whatever for them, and I use a Sharpie. I write on them. Some people say, that's bad. I don't know. Find out the way it works for you. If you want to print up a label, whatever the case is. But if you put them in the old spindles that you bought them in, it really makes it convenient to store. And when you finish up a year, I usually keep things in a year. Then I can write 2012 on there, and that's all my backups. And makes it really easy for that way, too. So that way you've got a real good backup. I also do backup everything again onto hard drive. And I never delete my images. I never delete my raw images. Some people do. Keep your raw images always on hand in case you want to go back and edit something. I've had so many experiences on stock where I've discovered that I did not adequately remove a copyright piece of information, where I needed to go back and I needed to find that raw image because I didn't want to edit a JPEG, which could cause more compression. I wanted to go back to the original and do that editing, and I couldn't do that unless I had those raw images. So make sure you keep that. Buy some external hard drives. I would really highly recommend it. As time goes on, if you don't have the money right now, keep them on your computer. Keep them somewhere where you can keep them on your friend's computer. Buy some DVDs. Keep them that way if you have to. But if you can buy DVDs to back it on, hard drives to keep for the future, do that as well. And as technology improves, which it always does, keep backing it up. I've got my original weddings I've shot from 2000, 2001. My first digital ones I shot on a D30. D60, I've still got all those images backed up, which is great. It helps me be able to get images for clients, and it also helps me grab images even for stock. I sell a lot of old stock images from my wedding, so always keep them. You don't know what you're going to use them for, and it's always good to keep it for a portfolio. Now, make sure you do not delete the images off your CF card or your micro SD card or whatever thing your camera takes until you have it backed up on at least a computer and on a CD, a DVD, or a Blu-ray disc. So it's really important. This is really important stuff. So that was video number 5B, talking about what to do after your images. Make sure if you like this, like us on Facebook. We got a lot more information coming out at you. Follow along with these videos. Hopefully you're doing the assignment. Hopefully you've got your 400 images done. Leave us a comment. If you have any questions, please feel free to email or to do us a comment on there or even on Facebook. So thanks so much.